Farming Simulator 25 will bring many new features, and today I'll tell you about things you absolutely must at least try to experience playing a completely new game. Drifting on snow, in my opinion, is a total must, mainly because of the biggest innovation in Farming Simulator 25, terrain deformation. Just look at how incredible the snow looks and how nicely it compresses under the wheels. Compared to Farming Simulator 22, where snow is basically just a visual add-on with no interaction under the wheels, this is a game changer. Sure, it's a bit slippery in FS22, but I'm very curious to see how the snow will react when we try drifting on it. Silage in Farm Sim 25 will be on a whole new level. At least I really hope so after seeing how the grain responds when driven over. It's not perfect, but compared to the current lack of reaction, it's a completely different game. When it comes to silage, let's be honest, it's already not bad because we can compact it and something happens. However, it's still not the effect we would expect from silage compaction, as it looks very different in reality. But this terrain deformation will be a big step towards true silage simulation, which is what this game is all about. The mod I'm most looking forward to for Farming Simulator 25 is one for getting stuck in the mud. Even now, without terrain deformation, there's already a modification like this. But if I haven't missed anything, and I have to admit I'm keeping up with the Farm Sim 25 news, there's been no mention of getting stuck. Let's be honest, if it were going to be possible, there's no way it would have been overlooked, because getting stuck with tractors in the field is an everyday occurrence in the real world. I've even seen it myself when a tractor drove onto a poorly compacted silage pile with a loaded trailer, got stuck, and a larger tractor had to pull it out. If we had that option, it would be amazing. In Farming Simulator 25, everyone will be a tornado chaser, at least for a moment. As soon as they start the game, they'll be looking for a tornado to drive into with a combine or tractor. However, I can already disappoint all those people because from what could be seen in the preview gameplay, nothing will happen even if you drive into a tornado. The tornado won't affect players or machines. Is that good or bad? Let me know in the comments. What's definitely bad is that over 80% of people watching this video aren't subscribed, so join the elite and also feel free to leave a like. Returning to the tornado, I think most players will end up disabling it because it could be an annoying phenomenon, and in many countries, especially European ones, it's very rare. So seeing such huge tornadoes on European maps would feel strange, especially at that size. Very rarely seen in many countries is rice. I mean, of course, it's cultivation. The Asian map itself is something that I think most players will open once just to see what it's like, and then turn off after an hour because they won't feel the atmosphere. This impression comes from the opinions that have accompanied the Asian map since it was first announced. Nevertheless, in my view, it's very interesting and pleasant to look at. Even if it doesn't gain huge popularity among players, modders will surely make the most of it to surprise us with new amazing features. Just take a look at the water. While it may not look super realistic, it's a very interesting approach. Outside of driving across a flooded rice field, I don't think anyone will be driving in rivers just to enjoy this water physics. Personally though, I have an interesting idea for mod makers or map creators. In my village, after heavy rainfall, some water reservoirs overflow and flood the meadows. So it would also be an interesting effect if we could, for example, spread fertilizer on a flooded meadow. I'm not sure how realistic it is, but it would be an intriguing solution. Many players hate this, and I'm talking about the plowing texture, but in my opinion it's very and quite pleasant to look at, although it's incredibly unrealistic. Maybe with some very old plows, this texture might resemble reality a bit, but with the modern machines used in the demonstration, the plowed field should be almost as smooth as a table. I assume it was done this way not due to a lack of competence, but to showcase new features. The furrow, for instance, looks amazing. Still, I think it will take modders less than a week to create an improved plowing texture, as it's a very controversial topic and the comments are waiting for your opinions on it. If you haven't bought Farm Sim 25 yet and plan to, using the code FARMFAN at checkout supports the growth of this channel. Thank you. In Farm Sim 25, we will be homeless until we build a house for ourselves, as you will have to construct it on your own. Let's be honest, this is a very interesting feature. Many people think someone's imagination has gone a bit too far since it's a game focused on agriculture, but personally, I'm excited to see such additions, showing our favorite farming game expanding in different directions, like the previously added factories or now construction. Though, to be honest, I'll probably test it once or twice and then forget forget that this feature exists. Still, it's another nice nod to modders. And, for example, on the No Man's Land map, it will be possible to transform the wasteland into a massive metropolis by building more residential houses and factories. Another thing that most players will probably do only once is to stop by for coffee with NPC, if you can actually have a coffee or tea with them. However, you'll definitely be able to chat with them, which is a very interesting feature and will bring the map to life, at least at the beginning of the game. But after a while, hearing the same lines will get old. And this opens another door for map makers who could create an interesting storyline for their maps. I think I should start charging for all these ideas I'm sharing today. Another idea, although probably everyone has thought of it already, is to see tractors working on neighboring fields instead of NPCs repeating the same phrases. That would be incredible, especially if more advanced tractors appeared as you progressed in the game. But unfortunately, we'll probably have to wait another 3 years for that. This will finally be part of the base game, and I'm talking about young animals, which modders have been adding to the game since the years, like the Enhanced Animal System mod that adds them to Farm Sim 22. But let's be honest, the game developers did a great job, and everyone will want to take a moment to enjoy these beautifully crafted models and animations. It's nice to be able to praise the game creators for this instead of waiting for modders to add it again. However, those who use the previously mentioned mod might not be as excited, as it even includes goats, which are new animals. Still, let's be honest, the ones created by the developers are a bit better, and it's also a plus that there are buffalo, which I personally haven't seen in any Farm Sim 22 mod. So this is definitely a big positive. This is one of the most brilliant new features in Farming Simulator 25, and I'm talking about grazing cows in the meadow. Another thing you'll have to do is take the animals to the meadow so they can graze on grass. A similar feature was already added by a mod for FS22, but now the grass nibbled by the animals looks really nice. And the fact that you can transport the animals to a completely different area to feed them there is truly amazing. So we can also praise the game creators for this new addition, as it's another really interesting way to add variety to the game. Players who enjoy realism will love this new addition in Farm Sim 25, hand tools and replaceable netting and foil for the baler. As for the tools themselves, I'm very curious to see if they'll just be an extra feature for people who want to play realistically, allowing them to keep tools in the shed or attach them to machines. I wonder if it will be necessary or if we'll magically store them in our inventory like we do now. I must admit, this is the thing I'm most curious about, because at the time of recording this video, I couldn't find any information on it, so we'll probably find out on release day. In Farm Sim 25, you might be able to become a sailor. This hasn't been fully confirmed as of recording this video, but in the preview gameplay, you could see a floating ferry, and I'm almost certain you'll be able to ride it. If not, you can always try to sneak aboard somehow, but I think it will work like the train that we currently have in the game. You'll be able to rent a boat, load it up, and sail to another port to sell for a better price. If it's just a decorative feature though, that would be a shame. However, it would still open new possibilities for modders, even though we can already add ferries, ships, or even fishing boats for catching fish. Adding water physics to that would make for a very interesting feature. Will there be no collectibles in Farm Sim 25? At least not like the ones we know so far, which every player collected at least once, and some probably with every new save file. Even in Farm Sim 11 there were collectibles. If I remember correctly, they were bottles you could collect for money. But now it's likely to be something much more interesting, which for some will be a plus and for others a minus, because instead of money, we'll probably receive resources like grains or other goods. I'm saying probably because we're already seeing these intriguing new collectibles, but at the time of recording, I don't know much about them. If you already know more, you can add to this material in the comments. Also, write what's on your to-do list in Farm Sim 25 and I'll see you in the game. The next video is going to be really big, so subscribe so you don't miss it. See you soon.